By the time I was starting to take an interest in tall buildings, there was one building in Frankfurt, Germany called the Commerzbank Zentrale, which was really famous for incorporated all kind of strategies that we now call green and sustainable. And I think to me it's one of the first buildings that really wanted to be and expressed to be a sustainable building. And of course it's only one building, but the most important thing about incorporating sustainable strategies in very tall buildings is of course that by their visibility, everybody in the city of Frankfurt can see what this building stands for and what it represents. And of course, ever since, we've never looked back. In the past 15 years, we've seen a tremendous development in sustainable strategies in tall buildings, up until the point that we now can speak of buildings that are actually super green. And if you combine super green and super tall, there is one building in the world that we end up looking at now, which is of course Taipei 101 building in Taipei. Council on Tall Buildings has actually recognized the building as the tallest super green building in the world. And right here with us to represent Taipei 101 and to tell us about the strategies is Cathy. Welcome.
Good afternoon. We have now come to the final session of the conference. And if you are bored with all the structural design and architectural design, stay tuned and stay awake, because mine will be very different from any others. I'm probably the only owner and property manager in the conference, and I'll be presenting Taipei 101 case study. Before I came to Seoul, I was in Toronto for the Green Build Conference organized by US Green Building Council. And it's a conference attended by 23,000 people with hundreds of exhibitors and all kinds of green products, green systems. There I was invited to speak for 7 minutes in a session of 1.5 hours, where about 20 people went up stage to present. And each of the country representative only actually got 45 seconds to tell people how the Green Building Council in their country is like. So I was presenting, my main point of presentation there was if a super tall building like Taipei 101 can be green, any smaller building will be able to, and they should be doing so. So now in this conference, everybody's about tall buildings, so I'll be talking about green for you and how we green our building. A little bit of background on our project. This is how our site looks like. We have a podium to the north and west side, and the office tower is on the southeastern corner of the site. Of course, because there's mountain on the east side and south side of Taipei, so this is obviously a feng shui consideration. And this is how the office tower look like. We have 3 operating units. One is the office tower. The whole tower is only office with 2 restaurant floors on top. And Samsung, Mr. Kim is here. Samsung was our contractor for the interior. So, and maybe this is the first time for YK to see this interior after he completed the project. We are now 85% occupied with 12,000 tenants occupiers in the building, 90 tenants in the building. What you see is our conference center in the lobby. This is our shopping mall. It's a very successful shopping mall, very high-end, and you can see it's beautiful architecture inside. And we also have an observatory on top. Originally, the observatory is only for the 89th floor, and because the business is very good, we extended that to 88th floor. And add some souvenir shops so to capture this traffic and the visitors there. You can see the 2 features of our observatory is, one is the world's fastest elevator. Until Shanghai Center is going to have a faster elevator. Where ours is traveling at 1,010 meters per minute. And the other feature of the observatory is actually the exposed wind damper. This is I think still the largest passive wind damper in the world, and the only one that's exposed to visitors. This has become quite a feature in our observatory. And only if you are lucky, you come here in a typhoon day, then you see the ball moving. Our project was called Taipei Financial Center. That's why our company name is Taipei Financial Center Corporation. But in the world, there are so many financial centers. Even in Taipei, there are financial building, financial center. So we want to create a name that's more easy to market, easy to remember. So we come up with this Taipei 101. Of course, because we have 101 floors in the building, the visitors, of course, can only go to the observatory and outdoor observatories on 91, but we do have 101 floors. And also 101 is like the symbolizing a new beginning, is a new phase of our economic development. And also 101 is like the digital age, information age, everything is like in the symbol 1010. And we also summarize our building into 6 characteristics: TAIPEI, technology, art, innovation, people, environment, identity. I think most of the tall buildings will also have all these characteristics. And Taipei 101 together also means the first lesson you should learn about Taipei is coming to our building and to have a good view of the city and then to learn about the city. And I want you to see that in the very early stage, the building was designed in 1998, last century, 1998, and was started construction in 1999. And at that time, we were already putting environment as a key issue in the overall development. So we have made some very important decisions in the beginning, in the designing phase. That is, we were the first building in Taiwan to use a double low E glass curtain wall, and it's non-reflective. It's clear glass, non-reflective curtain wall. And this is very important, of course, that we have this good building envelope to help reduce the air conditioning load. This is a good picture, and you can actually see this. This is a symbol of our building, Ruyi, literally means as you wish. You can see this everywhere in the building. And another big investment we did was to install a very comprehensive energy management control system. This is by Siemens. And so it monitors all of the energy consuming equipment and systems in the building. And in Taiwan, the government encouraged very much that buildings of large size use ice storage tank. So we do have an ice storage tank for our air conditioning system, and our AHU units in every mechanical floor also are installed with CO2 sensors to detect the CO2 level of the space, and then be able to bring in fresh air to mix with the existing air in the circulation in the building. And of course, VAV box system is used in the office space. And we also have some water conservation system installed early on, and we'll be able to capture rainwater, to collect rainwater for use. And we also have a groundwater system that's already installed. And on every office floor, I think back in the time when we were building our building, T5 light tubes were not so popular and was very expensive. But we have decided to use T5 light tubes in the beginning. That's also a very good decision that we have made. So the whole building was using T5, a more efficient kind of light. And we also have a pantry provided with drinking water, a boiler installed. And all the public corridors are installed with sensors. So after office hours, people can activate a few lights for lighting for their overtime use. Otherwise, all the lights in the corridor will be shut off. And I think it's also worth mentioning that we have a garbage chute system that on every floor there's this inlet, so the cleaners will bring the garbage out, not the recycled ones, but all the other garbage or the waste put into this inlet chute. And this is a very efficient system for us to collect waste. We have calculated if without this system, it will cost every day 18 man-hours to transport all the waste down by service lift to the B2 level garbage handling area. But with this system in operation, it's only 8 man-hours. So I think it's a very efficient. It's a very efficient way of handling waste for waste management. And from the beginning of our operation, we banned smoking in the whole building. Maybe we were the first building in Taipei to do so. But at that time, we installed a smoking room on the 35th floor, our transfer floor, for the convenience of our tenants. 35th floor is a transfer floor, and we put several amenities on that floor, including a convenience store, a laundry shop, courier service, that kind of thing. So we also put a smoking room. And then beginning of last year, the city government banned smoking in all the buildings. So we were gladly taking out that smoking room, save some maintenance costs, and then put all the smokers on the outside of the building. And you can see it was required by city law to clearly mark the smoking area. You can see these happy smokers down there several times a day. And this is B2 level, where we have our waste handling area. On every floor, we have in the service lift lobby, we put these recycle bins there, and then so the cleaners of the tenants will do the first screening, first assortment of waste, and then in the B2 level, there's a second assortment, and the recycling rate before we applied for LEED was like 55%. And this is the garbage collection system that I mentioned. So the waste will be putting into the inlet, and then there's shredders to further reduce, to cut it to smaller pieces, and then there's a compactor down here to further reduce the size of the waste. And in the beginning of our operation, like 2006, 2007, we already found out we have a huge electricity bill. It's about 200 million NT dollar a year. So we were thinking how we can save money. It's not easy to make money, but how we can try to save money by saving energy. So the initial target was at 5% per year, every year. And of course, you can see the air conditioning will consume almost half of the energy. And then it's the lighting. Lighting is quite high, 30%. This is for the whole complex, including the shopping mall. So of course, we are targeting at air conditioning and lighting system. The aircon, we utilize our EMCS system to adjust the temperature of chill water and also air handling units. So 1 degree, if we can increase 1 degree, then we can save a lot of energy. But of course, to the level that tenants can endure the temperature. And also, we modify chiller plant operating schedule, modify chill water distribution according to the, after tenant move in, according to their actual requirements. And also simple things like regular cleaning of the AHU valves, and also like for the shopping mall, the door was too heavy for people to open, so in the beginning they keep the doors open. That's very bad for leaking the air conditioning out. So we refix the door frame, make it easier to close and open, and then we'll be able to save some air conditioning. For saving from lighting, I think most of the building was designed like over capacity, and the lighting, the lux level in the public area was just too high. So we really have a thorough walkthrough of all the backspace and see what we can do with the lighting level. So we reduce number of tubes or the operating schedules of the lights. And for example, in the washroom, we have this very nice big mirror with lights, indirect lights on top and at the bottom. Each have 5 light tubes. But it doesn't really help you to wash cleaner your hands, but it's really a waste of energy. So we take out the tubes on the 2 sides. You still have good lighting, doesn't affect the usage at all, but you actually already, for this thing, you already save like 2/5 of the energy consumption. So all of these small places that we try to turn off lights, put motion detector or pull switches, and to try to reduce lighting throughout the the whole of the public space. Of course, tenant area is up to the tenant that we cannot do anything, but we write letters to the tenant, encourage them to turn off their lights as much as possible. So for the whole complex, if we compare the EUI with 2010's EUI to 2007's EUI, we have saved 13.8%. And in these 3 years, we have saved 33.45 million kilowatt hour, and carbon, that will equal, in Taiwan, equal to carbon reduction of 22,700 tons. And if we compare with the investment, for 2008 and 2009, we actually didn't spend that much money. We only spent less than $400,000 US. But for the energy bill, the energy saving, money saving for these 2 years is already 1.5 million. And this will continue because 2010 is another 1.2 million saving only on energy. But this saving is actually shared by the tenants. All the public area lighting, including air conditioning, operation lighting, energy consumption is shared to be paid by all the tenants. So this saving is not only for our own pocket, but also shared by the tenants. So it's a good thing to be able to tell tenants that we are helping them to save money. If we only look at the office tower, the saving is even more, because shopping mall is a bit difficult because all the retailers want to have their products shown in the best lighting possible. So that's not so much we can do. But with only the office tower, we were able to save 17.7% in the 3 years time frame. And considering 2008 was the year when oil price went up considerably, and also power price went up more than 30% in Taiwan. So this is really good money saving for us. And if we only consider public power consumption, and the saving is as high as 29%. And because we're doing a lot of effort on energy efficiency and so on, and 2008, 2009, the consultant came to us and asked us if we want to apply for LEED. And the consultant actually is comprised of Siemens, who installed our system originally. So they are very familiar with the system, the energy, the EMCS system in the building. And also Ecotech, Rob Watson is the founder of Ecotech, who is also has a nickname called Father of LEED. Rob Watson is the person in USGBC who wrote up the criteria for LEED application. And then there's another local firm, Stephen Leach. So 3 of them together joined force to come to approach us and ask whether or not we are interested in LEED system. And of course, we are already 5 years into operation at that time. So we were, if you want to apply, that would be existing building operation and maintenance. So that's the category that we apply. So as you are designers, architects, you probably will be mainly considering new constructions or core and share. But it's very important, the decision that's made now in terms of the system you use, in terms of the material you use, will have a big impact on the future operation. And also if the tenant, whether or not they apply for LEED now, they will be applying for a LEED existing building in the future. So your decision or what you can convince your client to do will have a big impact on whether or not they can become green or greener in the future. That's Professor Kim, you recognize in the picture. That's in front of our building, and that's a CTBUH flag here. That's our chairman and president, Harris Lin. I think the land law's main consideration would be for going green or applying for LEED or not. It's really a matter of actual cost saving. It's for us and it's for the tenant, and so it's really a good thing to be able to save costs. And also, as good as we think our operation is, as we think our energy efficiency is, it is really good to have a third-party verification, sort of a health checkup, annual health checkup that a person should have every year. So applying for LEED, that we have to go through everything we we do with the building. So it's a very good way to have this verification of the physical health condition of the building, of the property. And also with this, it's good for leasing. That will give the building a competitive advantage in terms of leasing. And more multinational companies will be asking for LEED, for green, and they're talking about green lease and so on. So it will be good for the landlord that in terms of leasing, it's become an advantage for the building to be able to put the LEED plaque on the building. And also, of course, it's good for corporate image. We are a landmark building in Taipei, and people look to us for whatever we do. So it's good that we will be able to promote this greening initiative to be able to tell people that we are very advanced in the environmental protection thing. And also, it's a corporate social responsibility thing that a building of a landmark status need to do this. And I think the major challenges would be the shareholders need to buy into the concept. Shareholders' endorsement is important because even though the money we spend for LEED is capital expenditure, it's not expenses, but you need to put aside a certain amount of capital to be able to do this. And so sufficient funding is needed. Depending on how old the building is, then you might need to spend different kind of amount of money to be able to do this. And also, staff commitment is important. Maybe for new construction, it's not so much. But for existing building, a lot of things we have to do by our own staff, our property management team, our engineering, operation maintenance team. It's really up to them to do some really groundwork, working with the consultant. So staff commitment is important. They need to have that sense of mission, that they know they're doing something that's very important for the company, for the building, and for the earth. And also, as we have all these tenants in the building, is for existing building category, tenant participation is a must. If they disagree, we won't be able to do anything. So it's very important to get the top executives of the tenant company to agree on this, and then you also need to get the people, the administration people to be willing to work with us. And then, of course, the last thing will be the quality of consultant. That's something that's very, very important. You don't want to be spending all this effort and then at the end you're still missing some points that they told you you'd be able to get. And for leasing, this is a very practical issue. So for tenant, it's their benefit that they be able to save costs from electricity. And actually, in LEED, it's not just the energy saving, it's also the better indoor environment that the people in the building will be enjoying. So it's like providing the best indoor environment with the minimum possible energy consumption. So, and this will be really good for the people working in the building. The work efficiency will be increased. And I think in the US, they're trying to do some statistics on how the sick leave will be reduced for the building after a building obtained LEED certification. So if we can have that kind of statistics, then it'll be really easy to convince the landlord or the developer to do this. And of course, it's really good PR and feel good for the employees of the tenant in the building with LEED certification. So, that again would be like the leasing advantage for building to have LEED certification. And I think in Asia, in the US, there are already some cities are requiring, or the federal buildings are required to have LEED certification. Some city governments are also asking buildings to have this certification. But I think we have yet to see this, of course, in Asia. The government are putting this into law to have, may not be LEED, but any local certification system that they have. But this will be, is yet to happen. But actually, after we announced that we got our LEED certification in July this year, our city government organized a big seminar and asked other office building owners to come and then asked us to share our experience. The government is really also trying to push or to encourage building owners to follow suit. And also in multinationals, I think at this time they're still busy with the US portfolio. Maybe the multinational corporations have yet to make such requests for their space in Asia. But the time will come when they want to do that, and we want to be ready for that. And I think all the building owners of new developments should also want to be ready for this new criteria when multinationals want to relocate their space. And I think also one thing that landlords need to sell the benefits to tenants better. People only know about this energy, reduced energy costs and so on, but we should also provide this better indoor quality thing, indoor air quality benefit to the tenants. And I think overall, tenants love the idea. You wouldn't, nowadays, whoever you talk to, nobody will tell you, no, we don't want green, we don't want environmental friendly system or policies. So this is the time that we can really do this. These are the LEED points for existing building category. Maybe you are not so familiar with this because you are mostly involved with new construction. So you can see the site, sustainable site is important, and energy efficiency is also important. And then is the indoor environmental quality. But many of the things is in the management rules and regulations and operating rules and regulations. So it's not that unachievable. You can see the project we have identified. We did about 51 projects. And you can see 32 projects were like low cost, no cost thing. This is something I learned from Green Build. You start from the low cost, no cost thing. For if you want to do something green or be environmentally friendly, actually you can do without needing to spend too much money. So of course we identify these low cost, no cost projects first, and then see how much more points we need, and we get to the other points, and then evaluate how much money we need to spend on each project. So the total cost we spend is actually less than $2 million US. So from the other benefits and also the energy saving, we think we are quite good in terms of payback. So these are the points. For platinum, you have to be 80 and above. Some of the projects we did for energy and atmosphere, we did recalibration of all the VAV sensors and so on. And water efficiency, we also did something in indoor environment quality. 2 minutes left. So these are the performance. What you see here, the photo is we are doing this survey of all the occupants coming to work. We found that 84% of people in the building actually take public transportation to work. Of course, this thanks to Taipei City's good public transportation system. And then energy, we are 30% better than average building in the US. We're using US buildings as benchmark. So we are 30% better in the energy efficiency. They use Energy Star for this rating. And then water efficiency, we actually 100% of the irrigation using rainwater that we collected from the building. And we have installed 1,700 something devices to the water consuming equipments. And indoor air quality, 65% of the tenants occupy the space into exterior view. I think nowadays people know that the space should be left for the tenant, for the regular employees, not for the managers. Managers now tend to have their space inside, closer to the core area. And material and resources, for waste management program recycle rate, we actually have achieved 71%. This includes fit-out waste. If it's daily waste, we actually achieve like 61%. So it's a very good way that we can recycle the waste. So we successfully achieved LEED-EBOM Platinum Certification, and this is a big celebration, and we're very happy that when Professor Kim also came to congratulate us. this is the plaque that we actually got. It's a nice photo. I put that against the window. It's only 5% of all the projects that's platinum. We started as wanting to get a gold certification, and when we find that we are very close to platinum, we spend extra money to push forward and then got this platinum. And we think it's really worthwhile. I think a landmark building, the buildings that you're going to build will be landmark buildings too. And platinum really set a benchmark, really telling the world that the building is a high standard building, and we think it's really the good thing that we have done to make it to platinum. And I think LEED-EBOM will be the trend. It's not only building a building and you don't know the future performance, but really after the building is built, you still need to make it environmentally friendly. Okay, so Taipei 101 Tower is now, we used to be the world's tallest building, but now we are the world's tallest green building, which makes it even prouder. Thank you.
The presentation is the Taipei 101 is a very familiar place because I have a regular design workshop last 5 years. I remember at the first stage of construction this building, there was a very strong regulation about airplane route. It's very similar condition to Lotte case in Seoul now. And after long and serious debates, the Taipei people and the government provide a very inspired research, and they eventually solved the regulation. And we can see this building is one of green building icon as well as a landmark in Taipei City. And in her presentation, Ms. Yang showed us a very good suggestion how to be a green building in the tall building. Okay.